That's another thing I learned about men growing up. Men fight and then have a conversation.
Yeah.
Women have a conversation and it might lead to physical, but men start with like the punches.
Yeah, we start with introduction.
and
Then
then
we now
we can
set
talk.
now.
I mean, if you're listening to this and you're not a Gen Z, you might want to turn this off.
Trigger warning.
Well, welcome to Beyond the Base podcast, and this is a podcast by Gen Zs, for Gen Zs, and anyone else who cares to listen, where we talk about business, culture, technology, and the world as a whole through young Nigerian Gen Zs. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Base podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Base Manolu, and in the building we have the main character.
I keep saying it and I'm going to repeat it. I'm not the main
Oh,
character.
the main character! Stop that. Don't even call me the main character right now. Don't even...
As you can see,
Okay.
this is the main character.
Okay.
Literally,
Already.
red flag, like literally.
I mean,
There's
actually,
There's pink here. So please look at the head.
but
not
if you
the
think
body.
about this episode has the most color we've ever had. I mean, typically, Ibidakmana usually wear black.
Tech bros.
I'm still representing anyways, but he slid me today. He's wearing green.
Let me tell you, I went for a community bazaar at church. And I was just like, you know what? Let me dress comfortable.
That is why you're wearing white and green. Nigerian.
Funny enough, right? That's actually not a bad idea. Like I'm
works,
representing.
right?
I'm representing
Yeah,
my country.
that
I have
works,
to represent my country everywhere I go.
Yeah.
So, Tega, what are you representing with this yellow?
My best. Like being alive.
Need to change this.
You're probably wondering who our guests are today. We have two creatives and some of my favorite people in the world, right?
You never
My
say that
favorite
about me.
person in the world too.
Come on, you know.
Okay, it's more of a
Yeah, you're
favorite.
Batman.
So that means we were not actually favorite.
No, he said I've never told him that before.
Okay, so it's part of us.
Don't hate. It's
Gang.
no. It's okay.
Gang.
Like if you're not there, it's fine.
No, you are there.
Well,
you
he
are there.
knows. I mean, come on, he knows. You know. So yeah, let's start with the lady on my right, the only lady here actually.
Landlady.
Tega. She's a creative and also an upcoming music executive. She has worked with some of the top artists out of Nigeria who are making Afro beats, go crazy around the world. And we also have Eibra.
Any AG ETA 30.
Eibra he's an all-round creative, also a tech bro. Don't be deceived by his attire.
Yeah, I'm not a red
Right.
flag, by the way.
I didn't even
It was taken and called him a red flag.
Yeah, I'm a pink flag. I mean,
Nice.
ladies love pink. What do you think?
Your head is there.
Gang.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just pass the mic to them to say a few words. How
Ladies
you guys?
first.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Like Olu said, I'm Tega, not Aget, not Tiger, not Tiga. Tega.
Would anybody call you Tiger?
I've gone through much.
I'm trying to
Not
understand.
TJ. So yeah, I'm Tega. I am a voiceover artist. I'm an upcoming music exec. I'm a Christian. I am a founder, I guess. So yeah.
And she's a baller. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, she's a baller.
My baby girl, please.
Who called you a gat? That person is
Yes,
a
I'm
that
trying
person,
to. I'm
that
trying
person
to
is a
understand.
Calabar person.
I've just gone through the most.
No, I'm not tribalist. I'm just saying. I'm trying to connect it. But that's all good. So my name is Oluwaremileko now. I am a tech bro, and I think I'm a crazy person, to be honest, because I can't actually fit into one thing. I mean, I've been a music artist. I have been a videographer. Currently I'm a content creator. I have been a Muslim tabligh. Now I am a fire for fire Christian kind of. So I think let me just come and say I'm Ibrahim and I'm here. And most importantly, I run an NGO that gets less privileged people like me to Universal Scale Acquisition School. And I mean, that's just about that. But most importantly, I'm not a normal person.
Don't worry, we at least the three of us here, we know because we went to school with you, so we know.
Okay.
We know.
It's a privilege. But I'm not a red flag, I'm a pink flag.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know why you didn't mention the name of your charity.
Oh, okay. Should I start it again?
Sure. I mean, for those viewing, you can see it
For
on her
those
shirt.
viewing. Okay, hi guys. I'm Tega. I'm founder of the Little Changes charity, making a big change in a little way. We kind of just focus on just changing Nigeria one child at a time, right? I mean, obviously, I have to make the money to do that some way. So I handle events and touring for some Afrobeats artists, some upcoming ones, some established ones. And yeah.
How's that like?
How's that like?
Yeah.
How's what like changing Nigeria one child at a time?
So let's start from the let's start from the money into
the impact.
Into the impact. How's that like? I mean, I think the key thing to know is that I studied economics, so I never imagined in all the job, on all the things I could be doing to make money. I never.
I remember the day you told me
imagined.
about the job. It was so random. I can't
was the
remember. I
most
think it was
random
after
thing.
church. I just
Yes.
called or you called.
Yeah, because it was through church that I kind of the whole process towards working in the music industry started. So yeah, how's it like? I mean, on the one hand, it's exciting because I get to use my economics degree. I mean, there is a very slim amount of project management and budgeting and et cetera, that goes into economics. And that is mostly what I work with now. That's what made it possible to be where I am now. And then there's also I'm a creative, there's also the creative part of me that loves to color, loves to design things, that allows me to put together these amazing events that have amazing creative direction and stuff like that. I mean, being a woman in this space, I didn't know I was a woman until I got into this space. So, for example, April, I was on tour with a couple of our artists that we manage at the label, and we get to immigration, and immigration is who is your tour manager? I want to speak with the person managing, and I come and he's like, no, you're a woman, I'm not going to speak to you.
What?
I want to speak
Was
to
that
a
in
man.
Nigeria?
That was right before we took off. Yeah, that was right before we left Nigeria. He was like, no, I don't want to speak to you, you're a woman, I want to speak to a man. I want to speak to one of your artists. Thank God I have artists that are just so well-mannered. They too kind of stood up for me, and they're like, I'm not going to speak to you, I don't want to speak to you, speak to our tour manager, I don't want to speak to you. So yeah, I mean, and that's just one instance. I will say how it's been, I will say being in this industry has made me realize more and more every day that I am a woman. I mean, I went to an all-girls school. I went to an all-girls secondary school, so for a long time I didn't really understand the concept of gender. When I went to uni, I kind of just functioned how I would normally function. I wasn't scared to hold the tampon in public or wherever, and I realized quickly that was something women do not do. So growing up, I never understood the difference in genders. It's just I would say the past 2 years that I have fully, I mean, I understood a bit more in uni, but the past 2 years have made me understand a lot more that I am a woman.
Oh,
Wow, we need to call boys for that person. Talk about it.
I'm not gonna lie. We need to sit that person down and be like, okay,
we call boys.
so
We start with boys, then we now preach.
I mean, let's face the facts. Jesus is not a Jesus of violence.
It's
I'm
not.
also a Christian
It's
woman,
not.
so I have to let it go.
But
I wish him
that's
Jesus
not.
joy.
Okay, then let's forgive the person.
just-
We'll
Yes,
call
let's
boys.
forgive
We should
him.
not call boys.
No,
Abi.
we should not call boys.
We've agreed.
for let me just point out that Eibra, so before we go on, Eibra was telling us about how he's lived many lives, and Eibra and Tega, they were talking about boxing, and Eibra was just dropping some things, and I'm like, wow, okay, give me some. And he was like, oh yeah, back in those days he used to street fighting. So the reason why Eibra is let's call boys is because
He was one of the boys.
he was one of their boys.
Exactly.
Facts.
No, nothing much. You just when you preach to people, there are a lot of ways to preach.
I think Jesus would want us to preach with violence.
That's the thing. But
Is it violence?
those days, there are a lot of
I call
ways.
it a love tap. Love tap.
Those days. Okay, let me give us an instance. I mean, that was before, and that was way back then. So I went to a street. I was going with my guys, and we're young. and I was learning boxing. Let me just start there. So I went to East myself. One security was like, Alpha, why they piece for there? I say, Organo vest, I will make a kind of, and that piece don't owe me. I speak pidgin. Get that kind of stuff.
I get it.
Let me urinate. I started urinating. But this guy was telling me to hold my urine and get out of that place. I said, no, bro, I don't feel do that one. He said, I don't feel commodity. I don't can't level with that one. And my guys are going to the front. I don't know, maybe it was an encounter. My guys left me. It was just a very wet. They didn't even know that anything would happen. My guys just left. I mean, I was just learning books, and I've never done practical before. So this guy was now like, okay, Alpha, stop, no, open that place. I'm like, bro, no, if you tell me for this place, make I come. And I was still urinating, water, everything. Oh yeah, now guy, Alpha, why you? Guy now change it for me. That is, I think somebody now told the guy, say, go threaten now. And I said, threaten for this place. I just quickly let me adjust, and I was ready. I think the born you were come here. This guy just came with some kind of anger. I don't know. He wanted to slap me, and me, I just learned. I know one thing, if you've not practiced before, it would, I don't know, it was kind of a first trial thing.
Yeah,
but I don't know. The guy just came where I just bobbed, I bust it in his mouth. The guy just looked me. Bro, that day was very funny. The guy now came with anger. So the guy was now trying to carry me up. And this guy is very big. Bro, it was with blow. When we started talking, though he carried me up, he hit me on the floor, carried me on the floor. When they say we start talking, me, I was bruised. I said my own. When he opened the mouth, blood.
That's another thing I learned about men growing up. Men fight and then have a conversation. Women have a conversation and it might lead to physical, but men start with like the punches.
Yeah, we start with introduction.
Then we can talk.
I mean, there's the popular saying, punch first, ask questions later.
Exactly. So that was it. So that day, I was surprised at how it went. Do you know what I did? After we've spoken, the guy could not talk. Blood was coming out from him. The guy is big, very big guy. And I was small that day. I went back home and I was wearing white. I was thin. My mom just said, what's going on? I went to carry cutlass. I put it inside my trouser. I went back to the location and all. But now what happened when I got there? That's when one man just come and said, hello. And I've not brought out the cutlass. When the man started talking, then somebody just said to me in Yoruba, Iyawo commander niyan. As per his husband, the husband is an army. Ma gore. As per use your sense. You see the way my blessed VX not devil put for trouble. Bro, I was healed. I just casually created that and I continued my journey, the anger and all that. So I mean that was the extent to it. But I was impressed that I've learned.
That's such a key story though. Your life could have gone so south. God knows.
Did you know what I mean? I was so angry. And by the way, I've never done that before, guys. I've never done that before. And I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Yeah, it's funny thing is that like hearing this story, right, and seeing Eibra in school, you wouldn't know that's like that something like that had happened, because when we were in school, Eibra was a very jovial person.
Life of the party.
Like life of the party. Come into my video, let's do a video together, and like always cracking jokes and everything. So like that's very
it is sense. So I go scholarship, go private school. I go can't say because I don't mad. You get that kind of stuff. It wouldn't work. So I had to use my sense. So whether has tempted me before, bro, I was so angry. But I was like, no. I just sent him out of the room, Sha. I said, get out of this, please. And I meant it. And he knew that, bro, you don't get out because he has never seen me like that before. But I mean, we were able to say
I've actually never seen him, bro.
Angry, exactly. You wouldn't see me angry. And I don't get angry again.
I mean, it's a beautiful part of growth, to be very honest. But before we go deeper into, another story, I think we should talk about what inspired both of you to start what you're doing now, right? On the charity end of things. We're still coming back to you, but I know you want to keep things under wrap for now. So let's go into Little Changes Charity. What inspired you to start? Okay,
where do I start? It's actually a really cute story. So my aunt was having her 60th birthday party. That was one of the most chaotic birthdays I've had. There's a whole bunch of funny things that happened, which I can't go into. But part of what she wanted to do for her birthday party was give out food in like a slum. So I grew up in VI, and you'll notice VI there's Oniru, which is like has a bit of ghettos, and then there's like
Highbrow. Yeah.
So we walked into my dad kind of just coordinated the whole family, and we're just giving out food. And I noticed there were so many kids that were there on a school day, because I think I had taken permission to leave school, or I had just dropped out of school at that point, because I didn't finish SS2. Point is, yeah.
Rewind that.
No, we'll come back. Let her finish the story. Then we'll come back.
So the brief summary of that is I did like SATs and WAEC in like SS1 for fun, and I got all the grades, and my dad was like, "There's no point." Anyways, back to the story.
So you jumped from SS1 to?
I just went to uni. Like, I just didn't go back to school after SS2.
What does she need again? Like she has credit.
Yeah, like one Friday, I just didn't go back. That. Yeah. Anyways, so there's so many kids there, and I'm like, why are there these many kids there? And I was asking questions and stuff like that. And I don't know, till tomorrow, I don't know what's inside my head or my heart. Even my dad wonders. I was just like, Dad, I'm going to start a free summer school. Like, where can I do this? And my dad thought I was joking. And like, truly, I really, one Saturday morning, I woke up by 5 a.m. I was like, okay, I'm going to the church nearby. They said I could bring like whiteboards and like markers. I called my friends. I don't even know what inspired my friends to agree to come and help me teach a bunch of random kids. I think I was just doing, I don't know what it was, but yeah, like we just invited all the kids to come, like, because we kind of just told them where to be, and they walked there and took buses. So that's how I found myself teaching like 100 kids or so. And then the next year my friends are like, oh, are you doing that again? I was like, I guess I am. Like, I didn't plan to start a charity. I just wanted to, it was just upsetting me. So, like, by the next year, they're like, are you doing that again? I was like, I guess I am. By the next year, I think we're about, like, 200 kids. And then I started realizing, oh, my, I need, like, money to buy paper and notebooks and pens and stuff like that. So, you know, and by this time, I'm, like, a bit further along in uni. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to start, like, something, structure it and have it organized. I didn't get it registered until much later, just because I was kind of just doing, like, just going with the flow. By the time by the time I had my first job, I had already done, like, 4 editions of the summer school. I had done, like, a couple, like, just, I partnered with, like, 4 other charities as well, including, you know, Eibra. Eibra's going to get into how we started Launching Pad pretty soon, but... yeah, that's and then what I will say that fueled it was I studied economics in uni, so constantly hearing the statistics of, you know, like education, like
out of school
children, poverty statistics, just seeing like how, you know, the government mismanages things, like, because anyone who studies economics knows it's not that crazy to manage an economy. It's not that crazy. It's like some of the decisions they make are just questionable. I'm like, well, as opposed to just sitting down in my house perpetually angry, I can just try and sow seeds that might, who knows? I mean, I've sowed a couple seeds that, like, we currently have a child that's still in uni right now. We have a couple that have dropped out. We have a couple that have children that just got pregnant, kind of went back to drugs. But life happens. So, like, I'm just thinking, hey, I can, I feel like my one purpose in life should be to help people. And if I can't help them, at the very least, let me not hurt them. So
there was something that you said, right? That's I think one of the bone of contentions I have with, like, Nigerians, as we are Nigerians, is that you said that rather than sitting down in your house and being angry and complaining, you went out to do something. And that's one thing I've noticed that a lot of us, like the vast majority, we don't do. And it's something that and anytime I get the chance to tell people, I'm like, you're complaining, okay, what have you done? Like, what have you done? You're complaining about the government doing this, the government doing that, the government doing this. Forget about the government. What are you, as a privileged person, what are you doing? Right? And so, I just wanted to point that out, because, like, anytime I get to say it, I will point it out. Because the thing is that anytime I talk to my dad says he blames their parents' generation, right?
There's always someone to blame.
And the thing is that like, the people that actually enjoyed Nigeria is our grandparents' generation,
of course,
right? So they are blaming. So we blame our parents' generation for not doing anything. They blame their parents' generation for ruining everything. And I'm like, okay,
Who's
we shouldn't
going
be
to change all of that?
Show workings. As
exactly.
you're finished blaming all the blaming.
So do something.
What are we gonna do?
What are you going to do? And
Yeah.
it's nice that actually every single person here is actually actively trying to do something to, in some way, like you said, a little seed. Like, it doesn't have to be like a very grand vision, right? But like little things, little places that can, like you said, you just started and then you decide to put a structure to it. That's how things work. Just get out and do something, because again, it's the human beings that actually make up a society. And if you, me, decide to put our foot down with the privilege that we have to actually now, make other people, their lives better, you're actually doing something for your society. So I just wanted to point that out.
It was very lovely. I think the thing I loved most about Little Changes charity story, even though I was not there from the beginning, but at least somewhere down the line, right? Because I remember when Tega would break down the master plan in school. Because there was one day in CAF we met, and she was just talking about so many ideas.
For those of you that don't know CAF, like CAF is like the cafeteria in CU. It's like a meeting point for everybody.
I'm boyfriend and girlfriends.
I never had a boyfriend.
Sorry, back to
Me, I don't know. I'm not there.
Right. But yeah, it was such a lovely thing, to see. I think it was 2023 you had one.
Yeah.
Right. And I even wrote a story on the charity, so it's been a long way coming, right? And I remember when Eibra also reached out on the idea of the Launching Pad Foundation, even though I'm going to remind him who gave us the idea of that name.
Yeah, nobody's taking that from you. I promise you, nobody will ever take that from you. Nobody will take that from you. I promise.
Don't mind me. Yeah, so don't mind me. But yeah, it was when he brought up the idea. It was a no-brainer, right? And let me not take the spotlight from you. I think you should tell the story yourself, right? You've already given us a little info on how you got a scholarship to school.
After fighting, yes.
Right. So yeah, just take it up from there and tell us more about how.
So I think I don't know, but I think the reason why, because if you guys observed, I left everything I was doing and decided to live a kind of particular kind of life.
Yeah.
That is, I left my music vibes, and of course, bro, I don't mind smoking on video, bro, but like it was because of something. So in the trenches, you guys can relate, by the way. In the trenches, there's actually a place of hope, but the hope is not sin. Everybody literally wakes up and just keep on living, and sometimes some of us that are new, we just come and realize that why is everything actually like this? Wait, why is my dad? There was a time we were passing that 1004. I was like, why are we not living here? I asked my dad when I was younger, that kind of stuff. But you wouldn't know until you realize that, wow, this is actually my predicament. And there's a need to change that. And I was privileged. Everything changed. I got a scholarship. I don't want to start from there. But there's one thing I've realized. I think the greatest things that have happened to me is through me being of help to others. I even got a scholarship when I was helping others prepare for WAEC and JAM, because I was the head boy of my secondary school. With all the street, I get brain. When I know worry, I get brain, serious brain.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And I was helping guys. A teacher came to Chavi has been observing us, because in school, if you wait behind, you want to maybe close window and do some stuff, right? But we were like having classes every day, every day. And from there, somebody came around and be like, observe those 3 months, so we are still on. Every day after school to 2 hours, we go in the evening. Sometimes we trek from that's Koramo, that is in VI, Sanfield. We trek to Lekki so we can get cheaper bus. Every day, like normal thing with gist and all. Miriam was part of us then too. And the man, at the end of the day, the man introduced us to a scholarship program, and every of us there got a scholarship.
That's one.
Miriam, when he can get that kind of stuff, it changed our life. Although I got 299 in JAMB for a government school student.
You got 299 in JAMB.
299. Wow.
That's loud.
I got like 271, and I was like,
you're happy. Me,
I was
sad.
happy. I was happy.
I think I got
303.
I think I got 285. My parents were livid because I didn't read for JAM. They were like, "You little girl."
So that was just it, right? So 299 for a government school student. The other thing that messed me up was English because trenches lawatiwa. That kind of thing, right? So I had 65, but the rest I had 7/70. Even though we did have a physics teacher, but I love math. Long story short, when we're presenting our scores to the person who wants to sponsor us, everybody was saying their own. What's your own? I mean, I'm rough. You can't know me until we talk or until you know what I'm doing. But my first impression, like, this guy is very that kind of stuff. I don't give a good first impression. Sorry. I don't, right? So everybody was calling their score. They were happy. It got to my own. Everybody, they did not clap. Hey! I was surprised too. Like, when I called my score, I was scared. Like, which I do? That kind of stuff. They were shocked. And the person who gave me a scholarship was like, this guy cannot go to a government university. Then through that, he said, going forward, everybody's going to private. So that today everybody's going to private, but for it was that bettered it. And I mean, as a Muslim, then I finished the Quran and everything. I wanted to go to Covenant. And the man wanted me to go to Covenant. Those days, they said I'm a good-looking person and my mouth is sweet. That if I go to Babcock, they'll finish me. Girls will finish me. That I should go to Covenant.
Please, no slander.
I went to Covenant. So even in Covenant self, to God alone be all the glory. Anyways, so that was just it about that. And I got a scholarship and the likes. But this is what I observed. that there are lots of talented people who do not have opportunity, but they're like me. And where I'm coming from, I have many people like me. Talented, bro. I mean, I was privileged to even recommend people that I know from the streets to that scholarship program. The guy has the highest so far. He had 313.
Wow.
Exactly. And this is from the guy came from the same place I came from. That is a lot of people are actually they don't have the opportunity. So that's what better launching pad. So launching pad was better out of how can we ensure people who are like me are able to make the most of that journey where they get the same opportunity I got. Because everything running now is just based on I have the opportunity, and by God's grace, I'm that person that's fit for this opportunity. And that's why we're running launching pad. So I'm not just running it from a place of I live for it. I tell them my company, like, I don't care. If you guys, I tell them, and maybe they value me enough, that's why I'm still there. I don't care. If it has to clash with my NGO, I'll pick my NGO. And I would never argue about that. You get that kind of stuff. Because I know there are some people who would not be like me if they do not get my opportunity. It's inevitable, guys. That's one of the reasons why this government thing, we need to stop waiting for it. If you are waiting for it, we are doomed. Some people would never be the same if we keep on waiting for it.
And like you said, right, that it's all about your priorities, right? If your priority is helping people, like, no matter what, you are going to help people.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I resonate to what Tega said, and she actually lives it. It's something that just boils on you. And I don't know, maybe it's something from God, but it boils. People wonder. That's why even after I played for Impact, I couldn't sleep for like 3 days straight because I don't know, maybe my hormones. Because during those days, I was doing everything. I was so dead to myself. You get, like, you're sold out to it. That's why I could resonate to where she said she woke up at 5 a.m. It's just something that boils in her. And I mean, still living that.
That's so lovely.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm like hearing people talk, I'm like really excited because that's so. If you guys don't know, right, I was supposed to relocate to Germany, and I called it off. Like, I told my dad, you know what, I don't want to do anymore. Like, and then the thing was, the process had already started, and I canceled my application. I withdrew back my application because I told myself that, you know what, I have the brain and the personality to make change here, and this is where my skills and my person is needed, not in those countries. Those countries are already built. They are, what you are going to do there is not to solve the problems of the poor or giving people opportunity. So, like, hearing you people, like, again, your own story is that you came from a place of privilege and you were like, there are people that are not privileged, I have to help. Your own story is that you're coming from a place that you were less privileged, you got an opportunity, and now because of that opportunity, you want other people to get that opportunity. And hearing things like this is even one of the reasons why I agreed to do this podcast with Baseman, because I used to be an anti-podcast person. Like, if somebody called me to come and do a podcast, I would tell you no. But because of the fact that when he was telling me about this idea, it resonated with something I also wanted to do. Number one, I like to talk. I love to talk.
Nobody's again.
Well, I actually thought he was a very quiet person.
How?
I
How?
think I've been to study for exams.
So
too.
the thing is that if you're not close to me, if you're not close to me, you wouldn't know that I like to talk. Right? Because I'm so not a lot of people know this, but I'm introverted. Right? So if you see me outside, you wouldn't know. Right? Again, so when he told me, I was like, yes. I'm the type of person that when I think there's a fault in someone's thinking, I will tell you. And this place is like a very, like, this platform is a very good place to tell you, like, see, oh God, stop waiting. Like, if you are privileged, use your privilege to make other people's lives better. We shouldn't be selfish. We shouldn't be selfish. And that's something that I keep saying, like, there's no need to be selfish.
Like, that, what you're saying with not being selfish is like what kind of kept ringing through my head when Eibra called me and told me he wanted to start launching Pad and he wanted like some guidance, on how to go about it. I was like, this, because like I feel like there are so many people who could have been in my position that would be like, oh my gosh, why do I want to help someone else? But I was like, I put little changes on hold for like that whole year because I wanted to see this through with Eibra and like
that's what we call her landlady.
Like, I wanted to sacrifice. Like,
No, remember that first
Yeah,
she dressed all black. Very serious.
Okay. But like, not being selfish, I would say, like, to anyone listening, is like the hallmark for every grace thing that has ever happened in life. Like, any grace change that has ever happened, like, it's always dying to yourself.
Exactly.
And that's like not being selfish with knowledge. Like, a lot of people think being selfish is just being selfish with money. One of my pet peeves, my biggest pet peeves, are people who are selfish with knowledge. I'll come and be like, I don't understand this, can you explain to me? And they're like, I'm not the best at explaining things to people. That's a lie. You're lying.
And I feel like it's almost, I don't call it a culture here, but a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Not just outside academia, it's like they want to always have an advantage over people.
Yeah,
and they
it's again to that selfish thing.
Exactly,
Yeah, it's still again to that selfish
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, sorry to like all the other guests we've had. I think this is my favorite episode because we've actually gotten into
Let
the
them
crux
catch you.
of
Why
the message of get up from your feet. And like, I'm not trying to like condemn you, anybody listening or not. Like, just get up on your feet and go out and do something. And that's why, like, he wouldn't understand that I keep saying that whole Japa thing we have between us.
I perfectly understand now. Like, for me, I want to go out, but I'm not running away. I have so many roots here, I can't even deny it.
Yeah.
Right? The entirety of what I'm building here is, because a lot of people have asked me, why didn't I just create my own NGO? And I was like, no, I'm not somebody that loves to even reinvent wheels. I think infrastructure. Right, both as a tech person, as a normal human being, right?
Yeah.
We have so many gaps here, right? We have so many people doing really amazing things, right? Just like you guys, right? But how much of a support system do they really have? There are so many water companies that claim to be, to be support systems for a lot of things, both on the government side and on the private side. But let's be honest, many of them are just enriching their pockets, right? I won't name names, but when you go to Europe, when you go to other parts of the world, and you see how structured even their non-profit sector is, it is like 10 times more professional than our own professional sector over here. And for me, genuinely, that's even the beauty and the goal of what I'm doing with the baseline, right? There are like almost 20 different NGOs that I've helped, either from registering to planning, even to date. Yesterday was International Day of the Boy Child, and we have a particular project that's going to correctional centers for boys, basically juvenile centers. Many people don't even know that exists in Nigeria.
I'm surprised.
Right? Little boys.
They come my side, go carry people.
Right? And these are boys that obviously have been locked up for one crime or the other, but they are less than the age of 16, 17. Who cares about them in the Nigeria of today? Who even gives a damn about their existence?
In fact, to put something that's to what you're saying, so maybe was it yesterday or 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
My cousin, my uncle and my mom, we had to sit down with my grandma and talk to her. So we have this cousin, right? And out of all the cousins, he hasn't really grown up the best. Okay. Right? He's not really he hasn't had the best growing up situation. And when we're growing up, very annoying child to be around. But he's going to be 18 this year. And in 2020, just one random day, I was washing plates in the kitchen, my house. He was around, and I was trying to. So that thing happens with me. I'm doing something, and my head is somewhere else. And then I was trying to piece something together in my head, and I just randomly asked him, "Oh, please, can you do this simple multiplication for me?" And I continue washing. So that type of thing. Now I'm just expecting the answer back, so I can continue what I'm thinking. And then he didn't answer, and then I stopped. I was like, "Oh, what's the?" And then I was like, "Oh, you don't know it." And then he couldn't answer. I was like, "Oh, I'm not beating you. And he was like, "Oh, no, he doesn't know it." And in 2020, that was 5 years ago, he was about 13. Yeah. No, this was before. His birthday is in September, so he was 12. And I was concerned, right? And then I started to talk to him, and I realized that, he was struggling in school. And I realized, and the reason why it hit home for me more was because when I was in primary school, right, I used to come last in class. Like, when I mean last in class, last in the set. And aside failing, right, I used to get bullied because of that, right, by my classmates and by my teachers.
I would never have guessed, like, because you end up in covenants.
Exactly, So like I knew what it was like to be the student that wasn't confident because of their grades. And when he said that, I saw it and it broke my heart. So what I did, this was 2020. So what I did was like every 2 or 3 days a week, he was staying at my grandma's house. I'll go to my grandma's house. We will sit down, and I'll take him in math. I'll take him in science, and any of that subject I'm strong in, I'll take him in that until he got a teacher, right? Then we went back to school, and over the years, I've not been around much to help him. But then my sister called one day, and she's like, "Guys, this guy's results are bad. He's about to write JAM and all that." And all of us cousins, we had recognized that, okay, number one, he had said that, he wasn't confident, like, in his grades and everything. And many times when us cousins are around, he actually doesn't sit with us, because one thing he told my sister, and he told my sister, he told my mom, and told his dad, is that he doesn't feel intelligent enough to contribute to our conversations. And we had to tell him, like, fam, like, it's okay to feel like that because of how your academics and all, but I promise you, we don't feel you're less intelligent than us. We recognize that, okay, this is how you've grown up, and we are going to support you, right? But a major issue we had, us cousins, was the way my grandma used to talk to him, right? Because she from our point of view, she treated him different from the rest of us. So we had to call it out to her. My cousins and I, we've been speaking about this thing for like a year, and we've been trying to find the best way to talk to her, because Yoruba grandmother, all that.
You don't.
But
you don't.
Facts.
Exactly. So all this thing that happened with JAM happened. My cousin was affected, and number one, he said he can't tell my grandma because like she's just going to make him feel right. And then we brought it up and he was scared to tell his dad. And I told him, see, I had to explain to him that, see, like, people fail, right? And I told him that, I failed 2 courses in school. I wasn't even supposed to graduate with our sets. Like, a lot of things happened to me. And he was surprised. I was like, yeah, like, it happens. And I told him that, see, I want him to promise me he'll tell his dad. So he told his dad, and then he told his dad, like, a couple of other things. So that led us to talking to my grandma about the way she treats him, right? And then so now listening to what my grandma had to say, she was like, she's been frustrated with him because of, it pains her that he's not doing well in school. And she's always on his neck, like, go and read your assignments, this one and that one. And honestly, from the boy's point of view, like, he wasn't so serious with school. But I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why. Because of the place he was in, like, with his academics and how he was feeling and everything. So he wasn't putting in the effort. I was there in primary school, right? So I knew. And I had to tell her that's really not an excuse as well, right? So given that even someone, like, as a relation, right, can treat their relation that way, badly, maybe because of frustration, right? Nigerians do the same thing to people that they don't even know, right? And it's something that has to be changed. And it has to be changed that you call out people, like, no, that's not the way to treat. Like, even if the person is not your immediate relation, like, that's not the way you talk to that staff. Even if the person is a cleaner, that's not the way you talk to them. They are human beings too. They deserve the same respect that you would give them, right?
We live in a hyper-classist society.
And that needs to change.
So this is the thing. Sorry. So this is the thing. I would say 2 things, right? starting from when you spoke about the fact that everybody needs to start doing something. I think everybody knows where they need to start, but they're just trying to alter their reality by doing what they want to do. Is that?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
That entered my soul.
What's that? So this is it now. For instance, take Bismarck, right? You're actually doing it, and that is what you want to do. But it can actually be easy for you to just say, okay, you want to be called a founder of an NGO too. Yeah. But that is a niche, and that's what people should learn from. Because everybody actually knows what they want to do. But to an extent, I just try to fight with it a bit. Me, I don't want to be a founder. It's just the passion I have that has now made me be the tribe, that now make me seem like a founder. I don't even see myself that way. In the team, I tell everybody, if you cannot do it, bring it to me, I'll do it. It's not like I'm just that passionate about it makes sense. So I think everybody should start looking from the perspective of, what do I want to do? Do you want to volunteer? Volunteer. Okay, do you want to start maybe just even checking on people, right? Check up on them. Check up on people who run NGO. Let just be, that's what you want to do. Do it. But you know what you want to do. Just don't overstress it. Do it in the little way you can. That's number one. Now, number two, that guy you're talking about, I think that guy is going to be one of the most successful people in your family. Do you know why? Do you know why? Those kind of people, when they find their spark, you cannot stop them. But ensure the spark is not something bad. That's another thing you should look at. Those people, when they find their purpose, like when they find what gives them joy. See, I promise you guys, coming from me that in junior school, I was poor academically, and me in work, when my papa wants to work, finish me. My ex-pack said, bro, I have to go to school. That's why I became serious in school. There's that revelation that needs to come. If not, reading might not be for him. But when that guy finds his spark, he's going to make it.
So the thing is that I have already even seen it, because so if you should ask this boy to analyze a football game for you, bro, like even his dad was saying that he knows that the boy is not dumb, that the amount of information he retains about football is insane.
In fact, let me make you guys laugh again. I have flogged one boy with anger that is back here because I wanted to be serious with book. Then when I was younger, the student brought in for mentorship. I was a child.
Okay.
I was like maybe SS1. SS1 and him he's in like maybe just. And the funniest thing is, I realized lately that the guy had dyslexia.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is, when I had a conversation with somebody who had dyslexia,
you saw the patterns.
It's actually the same thing for the guy. But they're very not bad.
You know, when we started launching Pad, you kept saying, let's have like people that want to do skills.
Exactly.
I couldn't understand it.
Exactly.
I couldn't understand it because I was like, a book is all you need. Like, really and truly. Like, I know we have schools, but part of why I was able to drop out of secondary schools because I just used to read my math textbook. Like, I was doing SS3 math. I was just doing it for fun. So I've always believed, once you can read and write, you set up. Maybe you will need someone to break things down and stuff like that.
That is exactly.
Like, I always wondered why. That makes so much sense
launching
now.
Pad, we don't do only university.
Yeah.
I mean, currently we're sponsoring 5 universities to university, 5 students to university. First of them is the first class right now. I think the 100 level guys too. Their results are very impressive. But we have skill acquisition too, where hundreds of them are there. And in launching Pad, we don't go to school. If we are under our mentorship, if you want to play football, go and play.
And that's the thing, right?
And I didn't know. So the girl I was having conversation with friends, and she just opened up with me about some things. And though she run an NGO, I don't want to call her name if she's comfortable with that. And I knew that, bro,
and that's the thing, like, that's the thing we don't understand in this part of the country. But I'm happy that at least our generation, like, we are so different from the previous generations, and they are always attacking us. They're always attacking us. But I think our generation, there's a lot more. Would I say awareness? There's a lot more awareness.
Like, because there's more information everywhere.
Exactly.
I don't even think it's about information. I think it's about the fact that we observed as a generation.
Yeah, we observed.
And I mean, adding to the fact that a lot of information got into it, but we really observed a lot of things.
And we're like, nah, that doesn't look right.
Kind of like education in this part of the world failed us in loads of ways, and it annoys me. Like, of all the causes that I support, I think education is usually at the top, because even for us that are well educated in the sense, there's still a huge disservice. I mean, I was how old when I found out about neurodivergence? I'd already finished school before I learned about all the subsets and all the people struggling. I only knew bits and pieces, like maybe in GS3 I had a classmate who was dyslexic, and it was sad because he was a twin. The twin was in the set above us because he struggled. They had to send him a class lower, and the way they even treated him was not really the best. But
So you wouldn't know, but the thing is, you wouldn't know.
Like there's so many things, and beyond just that, like our situational awareness of all the things happening in the world, we did not just develop that in a classroom.
Yeah,
we developed it by ourselves. Right? I mean, even the role in which I work at today, I didn't know that existed when I was in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, so there's so much, and I'm grateful that we were born in the information age.
Although, let's point something out. School develops certain things.
I'm not even dumping that.
So that's another thing a lot of people do not know. One of the reasons why I recommend university is because in university you get to network. And through the course you study, there are certain skills you're learning and you do not know. I think that thing Covenant has helped us
That's
with.
literally like my life.
Covenant has helped us with certain skills that we do not know, and it's actually what helped us.
Yeah, big time.
Can you believe I entered my company the first week? They were like, I've never seen an ordinary Covenant University student.
Yeah, I mean, just same thing.
Just being a full-time staff, I got like at least 3 promotions in like a year. That kind of stuff. In fact, and I'm not surprised. Like, bro, in fact,
when I was in 100 level, that long break we had, I was like, I don't want to sit at home, blah blah blah. Let me intern, right? So I entered at my aunt's best friend's company, and I can't remember how the conversation went on, and they just found out I went to Covenant, and they were like, "Oh, that's cool. Like,
makes so much sense now."
Exactly, makes so much sense. Like, you people, like, I've never met a Covenant student that is like this, like that, like that. And then when I got into the previous company I worked at, Jumia, I remember that one of the first things I heard was I was talking to the HR, right, and they were telling us about the program, and I'm the type of person that I'm curious. I will ask more questions. So I asked, and he was like that. First his plan was like he wanted to make it like a lot of private schools, but he had a limited budget, so they had to pick a private school. And he said that he was looking at data, and everything was pointing to CU. Like, when I mean everything was pointing to CU, everything was pointing to CU. So now I'm not like before. When I was in school, I hated that school. In fact, there was something I used to say that I hate the fact, and this is not even me trying to toot my own horn. Like, I just know the type of person I am. I said I hate the fact that I'll go into the world and I'll contribute to the name of this school. I used to say that from 100 level, but now I'm actually glad to do that because number one, I see the vision of the chancellor, right, and I see the people that he like the people that graduated from the school, right? And I understand, though there are things they can do better, there are ways they can approach things better, but from a point of, like, the project I'm currently working on right now, right, one of the things I keep telling myself is that anything is possible. Anything is possible. And that's something you hear constantly in that school.
But is that because we kept hearing it constantly in school, or because of insane people like Eibra? Because
I think it's the thing of
that,
both of them.
I don't even know. I feel like a lot of the things I did were because of people, you guys.
People
like, you guys just be saying, like, Eibra I don't, like, it got to a point where I was like, what is wrong? This guy is delusional, but it works. Like, he's like, there's nothing Eibra can do. And the annoying thing is, I have another friend that went to see it. His name is Asha. I don't know if you guys have ever encountered with him, but like, Eibra and Asha, the annoying thing is, like, they will get me to do it with them. Like, in my head, I'm like, this is not logical, but we'll somehow do it. And I think Eibra has always been like this. I don't think, I would attribute that to, like, CU. I think what it is CU attracts the best talent. Like, I think it's just branding.
No, I don't think so. So
let me
just point that out from one perspective now. There were a lot of things that were impossible to me. But see Papa now. Papa he think they tell us, say, I did like you. That man talks to me sometimes. Like, I was like you before, and I'm here now. And I don't know, I think Papa is proud, but he's the most humble person. This way. He's proud because he know what he can be. And he's humble because he knows it is God that can do it.
Give it to him,
So that's how it works.
In fact, what I'm doing currently, right, I remember there was one time, and funny things, the Holy Spirit reminded me a couple of days ago. I remember there was one chapel service, I was sitting down, right? And I was just wondering why you see some certain Christians and they are, you know that thing that Papa talks about, like, I can never be poor.
Bro,
Church rats, that thing used to annoy him.
pride, like,
And then I was sitting down one time, right? And it was during service. And funny thing was, it was Papa that was on the altar talking. And I remember I was just sitting down in serving God. And he's built a school. He has 2 schools, and this is what he's doing. 2 universities,
multiple secondary schools.
This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing, and he attributes everything to God.
And but it's pride to you.
Exactly,
Guys, I don't want to be that bad guy. I'm first of all triggered that you guys are calling Bishop Papa, but like that's a whole load of worms to unpack.
Sorry, okay. But okay, so when I was in that service, I was thinking about it.
Definitely, like he is a visionary. He's definitely a leader. He's definitely an inspiring person.
Yeah.
But like I feel like we may be at a point where we give him a lot more credit than he should.
No, okay, let me just use this word.
Okay.
We're not giving him any credit.
Okay.
We're not giving him any credit. We're just looking at him as it makes us think it is possible.
It makes us think it's possible.
That's just all.
Exactly.
Like for me, I
Literally.
feel it's the environment factor of the school. That's what we started the conversation on. I feel every school has a culture. Right? Look at Unilag. Right? I'm coming from my office. If you know where I work, you know where I work. But we just finished a program where it was an out of school program, right? So we did a whole hackathon and competition for students who just graduated within the past year. And these kids competed, and we were talking real hard coding assessments to work and giving them a lot of real world use cases. And in that room, almost 90% of them were from one school.
Unilag. Those guys hustle.
Those guys hustle.
Even in music, you want to sign a good artist?
Entertainment.
You want to sign a good artist? They don't go to Unilag. Stop.
Like every school has that. Like it's a melting pot. Because
I think that's community, by the way.
exactly,
Yes,
community.
yeah.
Right? And that's why one reason why we're proud of where we come from, despite all the struggles, despite the nuances. Like every place has its
And I think,
advantage.
okay, I think we can now come to that side of CU too.
Yeah.
There's community. I don't know, just creatively, who knows yours creatively?
Yeah,
CU?
we
I started
remember
like an initiative where young people build portfolio by working on standard projects. You can either be on the screen or behind the screen, but everybody's building something at the same time. And that project opened my eye to how you can actually be a creator easily in CU. So just more like the community thingy. We even aside from the old talks, we're made to perceive that we can actually start something and we have an enabling environment. So I think that's what even make it related to Unilag. The community.
I think what also helps is like that community doesn't stay in school.
It doesn't
Like
stay
you
in
finish
school.
school how many years? Or if I go out, like I've been at events where one guy was just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Guy like, you went to see, right?
Yeah. I did it 2 days
And he
ago.
wasn't
I did it 2 days
See,
ago.
the thing is that for some reason you see a CU student and be
And
like,
you will sense
he
it.
went to see you.
Like you can just tell.
Take a talk. You have a lot to say. Just
I feel
stop.
like she doesn't want to.
So that's another thing.
I don't want to have any hot takes.
So the thing is, a lot of people too do not like CU, and I was surprised to realize that.
Yeah, me
too.
too. I
But
didn't like him
me,
until I
I
left
didn't.
actually.
for me, I didn't like Papa. I didn't like him at all. Like I didn't like him. But as time goes, bro, if you install that man, call boys. Just joking, by the way.
I
But
think
like, it
one
happens.
thing that I learned there was just nuances, right? Like there are always multiple sides to a thing, or basically there's always the good side and the bad side of it.
Like,
Exactly.
in as much as I like to say I didn't maximally enjoy my CU experience, I will always say, if you're looking, like, what are you looking for in school? Are
That's
you
what
looking
I
for
ask people
education? Are you looking for a good time? If you're looking for education, please, by all means, and if you're looking for good education in Nigeria, please, by all means, go to Covenant University. If you're looking for mental health awareness, happy experiences you're going to share with your kids, maybe you might want to try a Unilag. But in terms of of what Bishop Oyedepo has been able to build. I
yeah.
admire him for being able to attract such talent. I don't know how he does it. I want to believe it's the favor of God. He attracts talented teachers, talented
actually,
students
I won't lie.
as well. I don't know what the secret
we
sauce
had one
is.
lecturer, and it was our level advisor, Dr. Jonathan.
No, Dr. Jonathan.
He worked in telcos for 10
My
years.
teacher worked
This
for...
man was making
Do you
bar,
get,
and he said one day he just felt like he wants to chase his passion of teaching. And he came. I'm like,
My teacher
I
worked
knew
for
that.
United Nations.
Telcos back in 1999, when Obasanjo just, do you know how much money they were making? And he said it.
I'm a product
he
of
took a pay
telcos.
gap to become a lecturer. I was like, sir, can't be Misha, but I respect her.
Yeah.
Like, I respect that a lot.
My teacher worked in United Nations. My teacher used to work for UN. I have a teacher that was teaching abroad and would teach us as well here in CU. He'll come like a bit and stuff like that. Like we just had, like, especially in the economics department, because really and truly the reason why CU is ranked is because of business and economics, if you look at the fine print. So we had a lot of talent. Like one of our teachers was telling us he used to advise Obasanjo Daige. Like Obasanjo would come to school. So we had
Look at
quality.
AAA now.
Exactly.
AAA worked in Russia, worked for the Russian government. You know, they got that guy
So
to
that's
be
that's the
VC.
one thing I would say about CU. I don't know.
Got a job
Yeah,
from UN.
because
Crazy.
and even while we're at school, you remember these amazing people would come and talk to us. You know, give us inspiring stories. So
Exactly.
there's something
Those
that
guys.
what I
are
will
like-
say is he is able to attract talent. I don't know how, and also kind of. I don't know whether the hard challenges kind of sharpen the talents in you, whether it's kind of like the army, but that's what I would say. I don't want to go all dreamy and say I love Bishop Oyedepo and da-da-da-da.
I mean,
you know,
the story,
but he is, there's something about that man that's definitely a secret sauce.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
So now it's time to get into my favorite part of the episode. Right before we wrap up, we have a game, and it's called If I Rule the World. Right, and the goal of the game is really to mention if you could rule the world for a day, right, just one day, what is one policy, one rule, one imaginary solution that you would imprint on the world that you feel would either make the world better or it could make the world worse, but then do you really want to be that kind of leader, right? So yeah, and then everybody has to vote. That's my favorite part about it, right? So all four of us, right, or 3 people vote for each person's idea, and we see who wins. So who would like to go first?
Ladies first, please.
I was about to say that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm very curious to see what you come up
Okay. This is gonna be a very unexpected, but like it's not a fully thought out rule, but at the crux of it, the goal of the rule, I don't know how I'll phrase it, but the goal of the rule is to make sure that colonialism is abolished. So no country can secretly be running another country, right? So where you have the case of, countries like France still dabbling into other nations. You can't do that. You have us still being indebted to IMF. You can't have that because really and truly we have IMF and the UN to help build peace, but it's kind of turned into something where they're just bullying other countries. That's why countries like China are pushing back. So I think that would be the rule. Like no country can bully or like hamper the progress of another country. And I'm saying this because I was in Tanzania the other day, and Tanzania is basically like a time capsule. So like back in the 80s, 90s, they had a dictator who media would have tried to paint as a bad man, but they had a dictator that chased out all the foreigners, everybody. And now there's something so fun. I wish I could show you a picture. They have like Eva water, but it doesn't say Eva. Like it says their own Tanzanian name, but it's the logo. They have all of that. They have the Nike logo, but it doesn't say Nike. It says their own Tanzanian name. So they are keeping that money in their economy, etc., etc. I don't know if the economy is doing amazing, but I was just really impressed that like they basically kicked everybody out and kept it. The only mishap with that is like the not even the economy. It's not like as progressive. It's not a lot of skyscrapers. It's usually it has a very rustic feel to it. I mean, I think that's just in parts though, but I guess that would be my rule.
Okay, so abolish all forms of neocolonialism. Okay, fair. Eibra, how about you?
I think I would, number one, want everybody to know the truth.
Okay, which is?
And I think the truth is that we are beings that came here for a particular assignment.
Okay.
And irrespective of the life we live, if we do not fulfill that, we are not going to live any happy life. I think I've met people, I mean, with the little I know and people have seen, I've met people, everything is glittering. Brabos, self. Bro.
They're empty.
Bro. So I think that is what is necessary.
So how does it come, like, break it down for us?
That would actually lead me to spirituality. The reason why we are created, I think AI has even made it very simple to illustrate. For you to create a robot, you have programs to ensure that robot operates. Now imagine a man. I think even you observing robotics, it should open your eyes to how complex a man is. Meanwhile, there's no any program running in us, except the program that has been ordained by the creator. Now imagine that you are now functioning as a robot, but what is the plan of that creator for you? Provided you do not know that, I think everybody would live. There would definitely be jealousy. There will definitely be greed. Why? Because you're empty in the first place. And irrespective of what you have, you'll be empty.
Yeah.
And that truth can never come if you don't have the potency of the word of God in you. It's not church. It's not the potency of the word of God in you.
But like, how would that play out implementation-wise?
Now, implementation-wise, it will now have to do with education.
Okay.
Now, education is the most potent thing. I think if you guys even noticed, one of the reasons they scrapped history from schools, they don't want us to know who we are. All of us, we don't know our roots. If you dig, you'll be surprised that you don't know your root. Even your parents don't know your root. Because that's what they're trying to take away from us. In order for us to not be able to know who we are. So my own opinion, I think the greatest thing that can happen if I rule the world, right, for one day, is that there has to be enlightenment. And that enlightenment has to come from the fact that everybody needs to know the truth. What's going on in government? Let's know the truth. Not about painting anybody bad. You did this at this point. You killed this at this point. You did this at this point. At a point in time, things were better. At the point that you made it worse. Let everybody know the truth. So when we get to know the truth, I think everybody now know the way forward. See what's going on in Burkina Faso. One of the reasons why everybody is supporting that guy is because everybody is seeing what's going on. And now we have the power and we're doing it. So let's get exposed. And I think that's what would actually help everybody. Then that way, if actually we want to make progress, we'll make progress. If actually we want to make progress, we'll make progress. But when we know the truth, we are going to know what to do. See what's going on in Nigeria now. Bro, a lot of things are going on, but if you do not know the root of it, you would just be laughing at people. Everybody just complaining rubbish, bro. Because we are out.
I feel like a tangible, let's say tangible, like a politic or policy implementation of this would be like, I've always had this fantasy of sitting down on a big screen and watching history play out, beginning to date, like no filtered, because the honest truth is history is told by the survivors and told by the victors. So whatever you're hearing is super subjective.
Let's just know what's going on.
Exactly. It's who won the battle, who won the fight, or who survived when no one else did. But having that kind of thing where the entire world, right? It could be like from Divergence movie or sci-fi, where it's like your memory is slapped in an instant.
So you know where we got
everything tracks back and it just hits you. I feel like that could work.
Yeah, but now the thing now is I wouldn't use policy, because I won't lie to you. I think people are really adamant when you are trying to impose something on them. Let's find a way we can make people understand things in the most fun way. Even in launching part, one of the reasons why I see those kids in our pictures get happy is because I don't come to you as a big person coming to talk to you. I'm coming to you as your guy. Laugh in my cards, make jokes, we laugh, we do everything. I think that's just another thing we can look into. Because if people do not know the truth, we just keep on complaining on what, to an extent, we can solve for ourselves. Because we've forgotten who we are in the first place. So I think that's all about that.
Yeah. So Eibra's idea is the voluntary availability of the truth. Let's call it historical truth. Let's go.
My own is always still gonna be the same,
which is
quantitative reasoning.
You're going with the same idea from the last episode.
Every child have to know,
because we need, and I saw a tweet the other day. No, it was actually, funny thing is that it was on LinkedIn. I was just scrolling through. I hate that place.
I hate
And
so
then I was just
toxic.
scrolling through.
LinkedIn is the most toxic
I was scrolling
app
through.
that I know.
ChatGPT will help me.
I was scrolling through, and then I saw someone say something about how, wait, you know what? I'm just gonna read it. Like, it's a very short line, and I'm gonna read it. It is basically, the person was talking about, he was complaining about the whole content creator pandemic.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying that so the person said, as the late Pius Adesanya once said, philosophy is the foundation of civilization. Planes, trains, and all technological wonders begin with deep thinking, not clouds. We need more scientists, more economists, political thinkers, and policy professionals. People who work quietly, solve complex problems, and build systems that last. We cannot be a great nation if we mistake visibility for value. Let's reset. Let's reward depth and not virality. We have a complex thinking problem, and quantitative reasoning actually solves that. And you know what? Okay, I will not say it the same way. I'll remix it, but I'll still say the same thing. We need people to think deeply. We need more problem solvers.
We need people to let
So
us
if
know
I
the
was
truth.
if I was the ruler of the world for one day, you learn how to solve problems.
By force.
By fire. No, this one is not by fire, by force. You learn how to solve problems.
Okay, so yeah, since you're stealing from your old ideas and I'll steal from mine, from the very first, I think I would. Now I'm stuck. I'm stuck between.
Indecisiveness.
Okay, fine. I'll still go with. So what I envision, since I'm ruling the world for a day, not everything is logical implementation. Some will also be some biological implementation, which was very simple. People would not be able to procreate until they pass a strict written and oral exam, right? So it's more like a certificate pre-parenthood. You cannot, and it's not just a thing of like a policy. It is biological. All the conjuring in your body will not work until you have passed it. Like your body cannot
But
function.
that's so unfair, though.
It is, but at the
because then
same time,
it will be only because that something like that actually did exist at some point in the world. I can't remember what it was called.
but it was not biologically controlled.
No.
It wasn't biologically controlled, but what it was you weren't allowed to. I think they were giving like women kini. They're giving women like
Contraceptives?
Contraceptives. They didn't want certain groups to procreate, and what was common was those groups were lower social classes who couldn't afford proper education to pass these laws that you want to create. Do you get what I mean? So a law like that would terribly divide the class because it would just be people being born. The people who pass those easy are people like you and me in this social class. The woman that's selling like gege bread on the road. Or
let me finish the point, because it's a detailed implementation, right? The education of it is open to all. It's free to all, right? It's just basic tenets of
being a parent.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because I feel like
to
the
get something
family
clear.
is the.
I just want to get something clear. Is there? Okay, that means in the first place, people can actually have sex.
No, they
without
can't.
getting. Okay, they can't.
They cannot. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like this should be limited to men, not men and women.
No, it's everybody.
So women want to have sex.
No, my thing is because I feel like it should be limited. Like this, your law should be limited to men because men are the ones that are creating the seed. Let's start from that.
Yeah.
Two, we've already come to a conclusion that most families that fall apart are families that don't have a father figure.
Okay.
Right? Three, a man can get more women pregnant than a woman can get pregnant. So men are really the problem for want to get into who is creating these incompetent human beings.
Okay, so that means
Not
so that means if a man
taking-
decides to hold himself, women to hold themselves.
Yes, because if you leave it to both, like I just don't
As
see
a
the
fine
point.
boy, also I'm saying what am I
I
to
just
say
don't see
from
the
these
point.
girls?
I just
This
don't
is
see the point
bias.
in
This
having
is-
both men and women be part of it when men are the ones really causing the problem. It's like birth
You
control.
can't say
Birth
that
control
without
should really
statistics.
be
Okay, so
for men.
look, let me just tell you, Sha. Me, I'm a fine boy. You don't need to tell me. Don't worry. But the point is this: women to have a way they kind of causes men to do things. So it's like a both side thing. I'm not saying it's a one side
Right.
thing. But the point now is that I just want him to let me know if they will not have sex. If they will not
they
have
won't.
sex,
Like it's not.
then that
Sex
would
is out
work.
of the
That would
equation
work.
biologically, so
That
it's
would
not
work.
necessarily
So
just
it's-
a law.
So it's biological warfare that prevents you from being able to have
Again,
sex.
I'm ruler of the world. My solution does not have to be factually
agree, I
correct.
agree.
Do you
Fine.
get like you?
I
Your
agree.
body just
The
cannot
law.
function.
The law.
You read it.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah. So let's just get a quick vote count. Who's voting for Tega's idea?
I'm not voting for my idea. I'm voting
Can you
for
imagine?
Ibra's idea.
You slide yourself.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Who's voting for you?
I'm voting for Ibra's idea.
Idea. Okay.
Look, I think
fair.
if we know the truth, they'll know have sex before marriage.
If we know the truth, like just knowing the truth sets you free, like in every way. Like
don't think
you're
human
just set
beings-
free once you have
Human beings
knowledge.
no send you.
That's the thing. That's what I'm not trying to say. That's why if you're not going to teach them, don't impose it. Because the moment immediately you tell people that they should not do it, people, if it will cost their life, somebody, one person will do
Who wants
it.
to do it? Yeah. So I go with Ibra.
Oh, I'm starting to lean towards Baseman's psychotic idea now.
Yeah, because again, it's not even a law. It's like you are born
Yeah,
into
okay.
that system.
I'm there for that.
So that's the
I'm
only
there
thing
for that.
You know. Do you get? It's different from if one government just comes and says no, like you're born into it.
Because people are more confused about
So at least I like it because like even the Bible's definition of a fool is that you know the truth but you decide to do otherwise. So
Because there
even
are
if
people
you
who
pass
know
the
the truth.
exam, give birth, still do rubbish, you know it. So again, you can kind of be held to that standard. So yeah, so who's voting for Ibidako's idea?
How many people voted for me? Let me
Sorry,
know.
I'm taking my vote back. I'm giving my vote back to you.
Yeah,
to-
my
to
vote is
Vote for
follow.
me. Okay. Should I vote for myself too?
Yeah, come on to
Yeah, let
yourself.
me vote
You
for
can't
myself.
vote for yourself.
Okay, no, you can't vote for yourself.
I can't vote for myself.
No.
Like each person can vote for every. So
Yeah,
you can still vote for him and vote
So
for
who are
me.
you voting for?
Me. Okay, so what that idea
My
of
one is you must learn how
it
to
sounds
solve
like
problems.
the truth.
No, this was mathematics.
Hey, but like
Quantitative reasoning.
Okay,
Like you are
Everybody
able to-
has-
they should have common sense.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Let's get to your point. What do you say?
So yeah, mine was like the
Six.
That's one way to put it, but
I mean, I don't support sex
Okay.
before marriage, by the way.
Ibra,
I
what
don't
do you
support
vote
it.
for?
So I support constitutive
Okay,
reasoning.
fair enough.
Okay.
Great. So I guess it's a tie between the co-hosts.
That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. As you can see, we had a lot of fun. And if you want to reach out to our guests, you can follow them on what social media do they find you on?
Eibra, E.I.B.R.A.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
Okay. How about TikTok anyway?
Instagram.
Okay. Fair. What about you?
Yeah, I only use Instagram. I dislike LinkedIn, but you can find me on LinkedIn. Tega and Eibra. On Instagram it's Tega Uncensored. Still Tega, still Uncensored. So yeah.
Yeah, so we will see
Sorry,
you guys.
before you see them later. So guys, launching parties organizing Play for Impact.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, everybody here is going to be part. So we're partnering with everybody. So I'm just basically for us to raise funding for school. In as much as we don't want to depend on anybody. We just want to be able to raise funding by ourselves. So you guys should be part.
Yeah, be
And
part of
watch out.
launching
Don't
part.
worry. Baseline is going to definitely partner with us. They partnered with us last year. So
This
we
year
should be
we're
getting
going
some
bigger and
ads.
better.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. You get our vibes.
Yeah.
So talk to you guys soon. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, bye guys.
Bye guys.